See, now you were criticizing, but look at what it did. It saved her life, having that thing clipped on her belt. So
They're both dead. Movie's over.
If you ever watch a movie with an engineer, something compels them to nitpick everything on screen. How do I know? Well, my dad's a radio engineer, and I've watched a lot of movies with him, and the worst case is when there's a radio tower in the movie. So when my brother noticed that Netflix was promoting the movie Fall, he was like, Dad, you gotta watch this movie. So to kick things off, I thought I'd teleport my brother in from Iowa. So we're going to watch a few scenes from this movie, and first of all, they start by doing this rock climbing. And Joel, you've done rock climbing, right?
I love rock climbing.
And you've had a few rock climbing incidents.
Well,
and you've even done a little bit
Yes.
of urban climbing, so you are more of an expert than at least me. But I'm going to play a scene from the movie and tell me a little bit of what you see.
so we've got Hunter free soloing on the left. That's a thing some people do. Most
should
people
not
don't.
do it. That's way too high.
The two people on the right, though, I think that's Becky and Dan, if I remember correctly. They are simul climbing. Yeah, Hunter's dynoing free soloing. That's irrational, maybe.
a little
But our simul climbing friends, it's not really clear why they're not just climbing with a regular belay system, where normally one climber belays while the other one leads, and then the person establishes a new belay, and the second person seconds up the rope and collects the gear. That would be a normal way to climb a face like this. Usually only simul climb with a rope.
That doesn't look good there. That
That's a
just
bird
doesn't-
feather.
Yeah, I was going to say, something's in there.
That's guys.
Oh. Uh-oh.
So there's a lot wrong with what's going on here, but I'll let it play out. So this Dan guy is reaching into a giant hole in the wall, a Waco, climbers would call it, to place a cam somewhere in there. That's not very smart. Mm-hmm. You would normally want a little bit more of a shallow placement or a cam in a crack that's a little bit more well-defined and parallel. Also, there were some big feathers right at the front of that hole, suggesting there's a bird's nest. And that's a real thing. Sometimes you have big old crows or other birds, falcons, eagles in cliffs, and you don't want to mess with them. Definitely, if there are any eggs or babies in the nest, they'll get pretty defensive, and they will attack you and start pecking things and throwing things at you.
Poke your eye out.
But the last thing you would do is let go when that happens. That's definitely not a smart move.
I was wondering
when a bird
about, what do
starts
you think
bothering
you would do if you got bit by a snake or a bird hit you? Would you...
You would just take the
hit?
bite. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what you're climbing. If you're sport climbing and you have quick draws and bolts and it's an easy, safe climb, you might take the fall just to get away from the snake. But generally speaking, in this sort of situation where you're both climbing together, you're one another's anchor, you would not just let go. That would be... you don't let go simul climbing. That's very uncool. I don't know why you would unclip yourself here. So now he's just hanging from one piece of gear all by himself. I don't know why that would help him swing into the wall. But now she's not a counterweight for him. There's less force on the cam for having just one person hang, I suppose. But
And also-
it shock loaded the cam. That's not very smart.
Yeah. And Joel is 2 for 2 of recommending movies where someone dies climbing right at the beginning. That's makes me not excited when you go climbing. So. But you retired from that, didn't you?
No.
Now, at this point, though, I'm getting excited because I'm like, oh, the transmitter building, there's nothing. I'm seeing nothing but a fence out in the middle of the desert. I assume that's the desert. But there's like no cables connecting to the tower. There's no building nearby. It's like, where is the cool stuff?
And isn't there usually a foundation, like a big block
There,
of
yeah.
concrete?
Well, that's the other thing is like, unless the dust and stuff filled about 5 feet, that's like a ridiculous.
Did they bury the concrete base of the tower? Or the ceramic
no,
insulators?
Not
or?
for a 2,000-foot tower. They would not bury the concrete. No, you'd have constant wetness against the metal and all kinds of bad things. They should have done their homework on that, but it's going to bother every engineer that watches it.
I did look it up. They had a $3 million budget for the movie.
Yeah.
So I think that at least
you
$2 million of that went into the scenes up in the tower.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they probably only had about $10 for this part.
Yeah. Next time, call me and I'll get you in touch with the TV guy and get that a little accurate.
And maybe a rock climber as well.
How many guy wires do you see? One set. A tower that's 2,000 feet tall. It's not gonna stay up on one set. But anyway, you not build a 2,000-foot tower with one set of guy wires. I just want to point that out.
And not just a set, there's just like one wire on each side.
Yeah.
Like even
Yeah, exactly.
nearby here, there's other towers, and if you look at the base, there's each of the guy wire anchors has like 3, and they're giant
Yes,
anchors tied in the
yes.
ground with big steel cables.
Yep. Usually a tower like this is going to have a set of anchors closer and a set of anchors farther back. There's going to be 3 or 4 leaving it, going up at different heights of the tower. She hasn't seen our hot dog video, Jeff. She should be afraid. Right now, she should be a little afraid. She'd get that dead carcass thing and she'd be touching it up against there, you know.
Probably notice there's no building at the bottom, though.
Yeah, and there's no
Feeding it power.
ground. There's no ground things or anything.
Yeah, it's not great to pressure people into
Yeah.
climbing situations.
I was going to ask you that
it's not
too.
Cool.
Like somebody who's afraid and showing fear, it's like, yeah, come climb with me. Connect ourselves together with a rope.
It's one thing if they want to do something. So Hunter took a rope, folded it in half, clipped it into a locking carabiner on Becky's harness, and then when they cut, the rope was tied into what looks like a trace 8 knot or something similar. But also what they're about to do, they're going to climb up, simul-climb, again, 2 people climbing connected to the ends of the same rope, and they don't place any gear in between them. So it seems really confusing why they're roped together.
Yeah.
Because it just means that if one person falls, they're going to take the other one off.
That's what I was thinking.
Twice
We're
as
gonna go down
dangerous.
together.
They look strong enough, though, to hold each other if one grabs on. But anyway, here you see they're walking into this open space, that a tower that's built completely symmetrical everywhere except where they enter at the base. There's no cross-member things going on there at all. It's like that's totally bogus.
That's convenient for climbers, though.
Yeah, it's
And
convenient
for the film
climbers.
crew to get their cameras inside.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing I noticed, there's not even a power cable
No, it's missing a building and power there, Jeff. It's
and RF.
And
I mean,
RF,
They might have ripped out the RF 20 years ago or something.
yeah,
but still.
yeah. Would it be hard to believe a 2,000-foot tower would be abandoned, that no one would figure out a use for it? But it's pretty weird that there's no cables coming to it, no building nearby, not even a carcass of a building. It's like, what's up with that?
There was a carcass of a deer.
Yeah, there was a carcass of a deer
Maybe the vultures got the building.
or something. Was that a deer?
Like a small
Coyote or
cow.
coyote or something.
It's definitely a mammal.
This just is ridiculous. There's your one guy cable holding a 2,000-foot tower. That's the base of the guy. It's like, okay, I don't know. I would not climb that tower, but it could not exist, so then I couldn't climb it because of that too.
Do parts on towers really rattle like this in the wind?
They can move. There's tower things saying, but you don't want to, like, that's probably not a real thing there. I don't know what you'd make a tower out of that would do that.
You just keep 3 points on, the ladder will be fine.
Yeah.
What's the chance? What are the chances that 3
think-
of the rungs break at the same
I think
time?
we're entering that realm of Indiana Jones. I think some of this wiggly stuff is inspired by that.
There was the part where the guy wires attach. Let's look at that really
They're
quick.
already there. Yeah. Look, now that looks legit there. Like that's a pretty hefty looking thing, but there should be like, 6 or 8. That they actually look over big, a bit to me, if anything. So.
Like, why not bring a quick draw or some other clipping anchor you could clip to the tower here?
And
You
Yeah.
could relax,
Yes.
hang from it.
It's required by climbers.
don't
clip
radio
on.
towers even have like a little system where you can clip in and
Yeah, they
climb
do
up?
now. We call that a crow's nest there. It's a pretty skinny one. Usually you make it knowing people will be up there and you put a rail around it. Not very expensive. But then this is abandoned, so it's probably super old. And then you can see there's no towns around there at all. So
It does look there's that pipe over to the left of her.
yeah, that pipe over there, look at that. It's a giant knot broadcast pipe that is sitting there open to the air. And there's whatever was going on with that would be nothing. It doesn't go down. We know it doesn't go down. I guess they're thinking that's the top leg and the leg just has nothing connected to it. Like the legs go up and that's one of them. I don't know. It's pretty weird. See, I think she saw that and she's nervous. See, that's like, that shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't. And what's the plastic up there? What is that? I've never seen an antenna with a ladder on the side of the antenna.
Usually have bolts on the sides of the
Yes,
antenna that you can
yes.
climb up.
Yeah,
those.
and yes. So this would be weird. And then here's the non-cabled dishes that are probably not used anymore that I don't know how they rigged that up there. Look at the eye bolt thing is holding on.
It's like that was one of the guy wire locations,
she
and they
could-
just put a dish on it.
Yeah. Well, it's...
It's like horror movie rigging.
And wouldn't climbers always check, like you guys check rock if you're climbing rock, wouldn't you check the metal bolts as you went along to see if you're like, if I go past this, I might not be able to come back.
I think most climbers would not want to go up on a man-made structure like this, especially a rusty one. It's,
Oh, bolt fell out.
The funny thing is, it looked like the bolt one thing I noticed is that bolt was awfully clean on the inside.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah.
very good
For
looking
a
bolt.
rusting out bolt.
It's
the
not
bolt
rounded.
Looks nice.
It's not rounded because it's been doing that in the wind for days.
Have you ever seen a bolt hit anything, Dad?
Yeah, well, when they're on towers, if you're in the area, you're supposed to wear a hard hat. But when they'll yell, I forget what the word they use, but they yell a word, but you hear anything coming off the tower, and you have two choices. It's like run to the tower or run away as far as you can because those things go down, and a lot of times they just drift away from the tower. And I think a bolt hitting a typical hard hat wouldn't be a good experience either. So they're reaching a very small platform up there, and that's weird. There's a pole up there that looks more like a flagpole. It looks like it has no purpose unless it holds a light. We haven't seen any other lights on the tower, and we know that would be illegal. And there's no power lines running anywhere that we saw on the tower. So the light, well, I guess you can see the light right there.
There's
Looks like
one
a
little
tiny
light.
light, a side marker light or something.
One little 819 bulb.
Yeah, that's all right. It's not the right deal. That's definitely not okay. That wouldn't have been okay 50 years ago.
I think that's a pretty good shot. It looks fairly realistic. Besides the fact that everything on the tower's wrong.
I do think the fact that they're probably 20 feet off the ground at the most, it is pretty awesome. They did a good job with that. And then who doesn't like drones? We all like drones. That's a bad idea. Joel, I'm going to ask you, would you ever do anything like that in your whole life? Ever?
When I was younger, maybe, but that was a bad idea. But this bothers me. This Hunter pressuring Becky into doing stuff
Yes.
that she doesn't want to do.
Well, they did it, Jeff. They accomplished their thing. Now you just got to look at the time in the movie. There's way too much time for this to be like, now let's go down. I thought it was funny, too, because I just noticed there's a box right there. There's like a metal box up there for what?
Pretty standard on top of a tower.
It would
right?
be electrical. It'd be electrical box. See,
You
there's your
sign the form that says you made it to the top of the tower. You put the
put it
date.
in there.
Rock climbers do this on top of mountains and cliffs.
There you go.
There's one on top of like Devil's Tower in Wyoming.
Ha ha. They think it's funny now, but trust me, there's no ladder there.
It says
when
emergency.
when you do have something like that happen, like you're like, oh, I could have died there. That could be a natural reaction, laughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually there's a little bit more of a sober moment, I think. Some words are said usually that we can't say probably on YouTube.
I'm not on this YouTube channel.
Yeah. So the box does have stuff in it.
And it had binoculars. Is that the typical, like when you're outfitting a tower, do you stick binoculars up there?
I think if you're hunting vultures, you probably would have those binoculars up there. You'd surprise them from above.
What about the flare gun?
Yeah, the flare gun. Now that's. I'm stuck up here. I don't know.
I do wonder though, like when you're a tower climber, do you have, what kind of safety gear would you bring? Probably a first aid kit, but would you have a flare gun or anything for signaling?
I would not climb. So, right, Sue? So, I would not climb. But if I did, I would want to carry something if I got in trouble.
Like, do they use just cell phones for that? Like, do they?
Well, they always have, so climbers always have walkie-talkies, and now they also have cell phones. So they have walkie-talkies, cell phones. Most of their communication is done with walkie-talkies. The crew a lot of times will give the local engineer a walkie-talkie so he can keep track of what's going on. Now, at this point, you as a climber would go, well, I'm going to be stuck here. I'm going to clamp myself in. Wouldn't you do that?
Standard tower bivvy, yeah. Bivouac, bivvy.
I would,
That's a thing I've had to do. A lot of climbers have had to do. You get stuck in a situation where you can't get to where you want to go. Bad weather, trail is a little treacherous.
Yeah.
So you just stay where you are until the sun comes up or until the weather clears.
What was she just doing with the phone?
She can't get signal.
Oh, she can't
They're
get signal.
They're trying to send a
They're going to
thing.
swing it around on a rope.
Does any engineer or radio think that you would not get signal up 2,000 feet in the air?
Well, because you know,
'Cause-
we talked about the FM towers. They transmit downward more because they don't want to transmit to the sky. But what about cell towers? Do they have that same kind of downward?
Well,
focus?
yeah, but I mean, it just means that the signal, it's a weaker signal going up, but there's no obstruction to it. So generally, you could get a signal. They were getting signal on the ground.
The plot needs it.
So this was the first time that I saw that the tower lights were actually working, and it's really tower light because it looks like it's a single lamp at the top of the tower, and with that runs without electricity. So that's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Is it typical that there's just one bulb up there too?
No, that would not be typical either. The only thing I could imagine if it was a strobe or LED, they might have one kit. So
But that was definitely not a stroke.
that
as
was
we'll find
if
out
it's an
later.
old abandoned tower, it probably would have had the two bulbs pointing down each other. You lift it in the middle and bulb in the top, bulb in the bottom. So now they've been up there overnight, right? And no food and no water either, right? So
You get your second wind in the morning after you have to bivvy overnight, though.
do you? So
Oh, yeah.
you're all ready to go.
Feel good. Sun comes
You're all
up, you feel good.
excited.
Maybe a little chilly.
And she's going down to try to get that bag with the water.
When you're climbing, even if you're doing like a short recreational climb, do you have a backup rope or anything with you?
Most climbers do not. Some people climb with dual ropes. You can. You usually get a smaller diameter rope for each of the dual ropes. Some people, so that you can come down faster, will bring 2 ropes up with them. They'll climb and belay with one, and then tie them together. And there are ways you can retrieve the rope with a tag line that's thinner, but it's a lot more stuff to carry. So most of us would just bring one rope, one good rope. They should have brought base jumping parachutes. This would solve the whole problem.
That would
She
solve
seems
the
like the
whole
type of
problem.
person that would
Yeah,
have a base
she
jumping
would.
parachute.
She
She
likes
would.
taking risks.
So this is why
Hunter's
she's
a goner. But they were both goners at like 30 minutes in.
It's like
so
the third time they died.
this is all, maybe it's all one nightmare.
yeah.
The
Yeah, she's having a
unrealistic tower and unrealistic climbing technique.
Are there any 2,000 feet towers that are like far away from all civilization?
Well, you'd think you'd see something, and overnight they should have seen some big lit up something. But I can only picture it if you built it between 2 big areas or 3 big areas of population. You could put it up there because you're going to service 3 areas instead of 1. Oh, the battery, Jeff. Have you ever experienced that? It's like the
think you
final
have.
shot. I have his final shot, and you're like, I'll just battery shoot. But I carried 3 batteries. Now, shimmying a pole, people can do that, but I don't know, after a day with no food and very little water
No sweat.
and a broken, cut open leg.
You probably won't even get tetanus from the rusty pole up that high away from the soil.
Oh, look at that little thing, Jeff. Look at that. That doesn't even qualify for a side marker light. I guess it is a side marker light.
That's just
that-
a light
that
bulb.
just
Oh,
looks
it's
like
just
a
Just a
light
regular
bulb.
incandescent light bulb.
Oh, they should keep a spare down in that box. So,
They at least do have the
That's-
little clip on the side to hold
Yeah,
that cover
yeah.
on.
yeah,
it doesn't
that's,
fall down
that's,
and kill
that's
somebody.
probably more of a side marker light would be. And it worked too. It wasn't rusted shut, despite the fact the whole tower's fallen down. So
How many lights are set up so that you have to shimmy up a 50-foot pole
you
to
don't
get
have
to the
do
light
that
like
either.
that?
It's really, you don't. That's usually, like I said, that pole, it would have bolts and you would climb the bolts up. You know what I mean? And then it would make it quite easy. She is going to get 110 volts out of that, because if it was 240, that would smoke that thing she's got. Dangerous. Do not do this at home. But it worked. What can I say?
So it's charging.
So now, that 3-hour charge time you have to take for your drone? Here she is, 3 hours. There it is.
Joel, would it be physically possible to hold yourself in that position for 3 hours on a pole like that?
With a cut
Even
leg.
without that cut up leg?
Yeah, but that'd be tough. She can alternate between gripping with her legs and holding tighter with her arms. She can alternate hands.
And she is waiting till it's fully charged too. She is waiting. It's like, I could go at 3 bars, but I'll go at 4. I'll go at 5.
She only gets one shot.
It's really unusual for the bird to be attacking her when she's not near its young. It's just hungry, I
But
guess.
she's got
Well,
blood.
it's a
there.
Hollywood bird. They tend to try to kill people.
I've never had a bird attack me if I wasn't near its nest.
Yeah, there you go. Almost fell asleep sitting off the edge.
Yes, tying off would be a good idea.
What happens in rain when you're up high like that?
You get wet.
You tie off and wait for the rain to stop?
If there's a lightning
I mean, if
storm,
you can
though,
find something to block the rain, you do. If you have a rain gear with you,
Yeah.
if there's a
you wear
lightning
it.
storm, is that
Yeah, what
any
about
increased
lightning?
risk?
I'm immune to things like lightning, so I don't really worry about that.
Okay,
It goes
Thor.
through the tower.
She's rappelling down now with, I guess,
same
maybe a
rope.
munter hitch or something.
I don't know.
She's attached the rope to the top.
She
and
should be
she's-
like 15 feet above.
It's not really clear what sort of a rappel device she's using or how she's accomplishing that, but
that thing did not fall off yet either. Hi, bird. She's not hungry now, though. Do you think that text would actually go off?
it'll keep retrying several times. I
It,
mean,
it will for like 2 minutes.
Oh, okay. Hurry up. Then. She's on
iMessage
a
or
timer.
whatever won't,
Yeah, but
won't
the
give up
earlier
right
one
away.
was like a DM and Instagram or something. Those don't try again.
Oh, here's Dad. He's going to come and get her. He can only climb 1,200 feet, though. He told his wife, what did he tell his wife, Steve?
3 stories.
3 stories and a ladder. But this one, it doesn't have a transmitter building.
Each one of you give your little summary, Dad on the radio side and Joel on the climbing side.
Well, on the radio side, I would say that the whole tower thing was like a, I don't know, what I give that other one, a 6 or 7, and they got in trouble. But I would say it's like a 2. From a realistic radio or tower thing, it was like a 2. But it was still effective for the movie. You know, like if you weren't a tower person, you probably could enjoy, that would not bother you. But anyway, the two for the tower and the engineering stuff like that. But for all the CGI, I think they did a pretty good job at the drama part of the show.
Especially considering it was a $3 million budget.
Yeah.
I was down on the movie a little bit more until I found that fact out. So
Yeah, the climbing, I think it gets an F for realism and a D- or an F for an F for belay technique and equipment management and anchors skills. But the movie is actually, it made my palms sweat, and that's actually pretty hard. I don't really get that nervous about things. It had some good dramatic build-up and jump scares. The main character, Becky, has a pretty good character arc. There's a good foil with her friend, and I enjoyed it.
I think if I were to make this movie in the future, I would say hire a radio engineer, or at least, I mean, a lot of radio engineers would probably help out for free. Or for like a free meal or something, and get a couple rock climbers on set to help with a couple little details, and you'd get it from a 2 to 5 or 6 maybe. I don't know.
Or Tom Cruise at the beginning of Mission Impossible 2. Like that scene was ridiculous, but I enjoy it a lot as a climber. It's like a little bit implausible, but also very entertaining.
Well, my last comment would be it should have been called Falls, because technically there were more than one fall. So that's my